The first thing my wife, Jessica, did after returning from weight loss camp was ask for a divorce. She even posted intimate photos with her fitness coach, Vince, on social media. "Take a good hard look at yourself," she'd sneered. "Are you even worthy of me now?" I never once complained when she weighed over 220 pounds. Now, she constantly criticized my physique. Chest not hard enough, no V-cut abs. When enough disappointment had accumulated, I agreed to the divorce. But then she demanded compensation for her wasted youth. Long after I had finally let her go, she ballooned back to her old weight, knelt before me, and begged me to take her back. Clutching the check from the land buyout, I scoffed. "Why don't you take a good hard look at yourself? Are you worthy of me now?" It was midnight, and Jessica still wasn't home. I scrolled through her social media feed and saw the photo with Vince. They were barely dressed, faces pressed close together in the dim, suggestive lights of a nightclub. The intimacy practically oozed from the screen. Jessica used to be a traditionally good girl. No smoking, no drinking, no clubbing. She just loved to eat. I adored watching her eat. She looked so cute. But gradually, her love for food pushed her weight past 220 pounds. I tried everything to help her lose weight back then, making diet meals, exercising with her. But she'd always complain about being tired or secretly snack outside. She'd lose a few pounds only to gain them back, often ending up heavier than before. Then, one night, scrolling through social media, she saw dramatic before and after weight loss pictures and was instantly inspired. Crying, she begged me to send her to a residential weight loss camp. Despite the hefty fee, several months of my salary, I did it, hoping it would improve her health, which was my main concern. When I went to pick her up 6 months later, she was transformed. A tight pink dress hugged her stunning figure, her narrow waist perfectly, outlining the alluring curves of a mature woman. Her long hair swayed captivatingly. They say overweight people are hidden gems. It seemed true. The sound of the front door opening jolted me from my thoughts. Jessica stumbled in on high heels, barely able to stand. "Aren't you going to help me?" she snapped. Annoyed, but compliant, I went over and steadied her. She reeked of alcohol. I expertly unbuckled her heels and offered her fluffy bunny slippers, but she kicked them away. "I want the lace ones. These are hideous. They don't suit me." Silently, I retrieved the expensive lace slippers she'd bought recently and put them on her feet. "Ah, that's better. Shoes fit for Princess Jessica," she declared, shedding clothes and dropping her bag haphazardly as she walked into the apartment. "Get me water. I'm thirsty." I followed behind her, picking up her clothes, putting her bag away. I went to the kitchen, mixed some honey water, and placed it by her bedside. She collapsed onto the bed like a sack of potatoes and passed out within minutes. In the past, when she got drunk, I'd carefully position her, remove her makeup, change her into pajamas, ensuring she slept comfortably. But now, I felt nothing. I didn't want to do any of it. I turned off the light and went to the spare bedroom. A blood-curdling scream tore me from my sleep. My heart leaped into my throat. It took me a moment to realize it was Jessica shouting my name from the master bedroom. "Alex, Alex, where the hell are you?" I scrambled into my slippers and rushed over. "What's wrong?" "I want water." I glanced at the honey water on the nightstand. "Isn't there honey water right here? Can't you drink it yourself?" "No, it's not warm anymore. I want warm honey water." I sighed, exasperation rising. "Do you have any idea I have work tomorrow? You party until the middle of the night, then come home and torture me. There's water right beside you." "But no, you need it warm." "Well, let me tell you, there's no warm water. If you want it, figure it out yourself. I have terrible morning temper, especially when woken abruptly from a deep sleep." I turned to leave, but she blocked my path. "Alex, feeling bold now, are we? Can't even handle this simple request? You don't deserve a wife." She suddenly lifted my shirt. "No pecs, no abs, no V-cut. Don't you think you're a failure as a man?" I spun around. "What are you talking about? When did those become the measure of a man? Would a guy with abs wait on her hand and foot like an idiot after she came home drunk? Now that I'm this beautiful, don't you feel inferior walking next to me?" she continued haughtily. "People must think you're rich to have landed such a gorgeous wife." I was speechless. The contrast between the woman standing before me and the chubby girl I remembered was jarring. It felt like the camp hadn't just changed her body. It had replaced my wife with this monster. "So, what are you trying to say?" I asked tiredly. "I'm saying I want a divorce," she spat. "Take a good hard look in the mirror. Are you even worthy of me?" My head spun. It felt surreal, like a bad dream. "Fine," I heard myself say. "Tomorrow, we'll get divorced. Now, can I please go back to sleep?" "No, you haven't gotten my honey water. Serving me is a privilege. You should cherish these last moments while you're still my husband." Exhausted, Wanting only sleep, I gave in and fetched her warm honey water. Back in the spare room, I closed the door and put in earplugs. Our beginning was sweet, a classic high school romance. Back then, she was quiet, almost invisible in class, often teased by the boys because of her weight. Look, she's like an elephant. Do you guys smell that? Fat people have a smell, right? Look at those thick thighs. Bet she wears out pants really fast from chafing. I'd always shut them down. Shut up. She'd shoot me grateful glances, but quickly look away if I caught her eye. Later, lollipops started appearing mysteriously in my desk. I assumed they were from Jessica, a small thank you. At least she had some conscience, I thought. One time, a boy deliberately tripped her. She fell hard. The hallway was crowded during break time, and a group of boys laughed maliciously. She stayed on the floor, shoulders trembling. Was she crying? A sour feeling twisted in my gut. I went over and punched the boy who tripped her, grabbing his collar. Jessica is my girlfriend, I announced loudly. Anyone bullies her again, they answer to me. Got it. Alex, are you blind? Falling for a pig, someone sneered. Shut your damn mouth. Say that again, and I'll beat you into a pig. Just like in those angsty teen dramas, we started dating. As a black belt in Taekwondo, no one dared bother Jessica anymore. That afternoon after school, she asked me, "Thanks for today, but why did you tell them that?" Her round face was actually quite adorable. I leaned in close. Because I like you. She avoided my gaze. I'm so fat. What do you like about me? What's wrong with being fat? I like that you're cute and kind. Your chubby cheeks make me want to take a bite. I finished, playfully pinching her cheek. It was our first physical contact. Besides, I added, you can always lose weight if you want. But you're fine just the way you are too. She smiled, revealing a charming dimple. She had good features, just an uncontrollable appetite. We got together, and most of our dates revolved around food. Initially, she pretended to be full quickly. I saw through it. It's okay, eat as much as you want. I don't mind. Really? Her eyes lit up. Waiter, 2 more bowls of beef ramen, extra beef, extra spicy. I watched her tenderly. Watching her eat was somehow therapeutic. I'd gently wipe her mouth with a napkin. Eat slowly, I'm not going to steal it. She later told me that was the day she knew I was the man she wanted to marry. How did we end up like this? Our relationship progressed smoothly through dating and marriage. We had a long period of happiness. She couldn't conceive due to her weight. So I told my family the issue was mine. Her mother, however, constantly nagged her to lose weight, warning her about becoming an older mother. I fantasized about having a child with her too. Who wouldn't want a symbol of love with the person they adore? But her weight put that dream on hold. After she successfully lost weight at the camp, I brought up the topic again. No way am I getting fat again just to have a baby, she'd retorted. All my hard work would be wasted. I understood, but it still stung. The fitness coach, Vince, was the one I'd entrusted her to. I fully supported her weight loss, wanting only for her to be healthy. At first, she video called frequently. Then it became weekly, then bi-weekly. In the last 2 months, we only video called 3 times. Each time, she was visibly thinner, her confidence soaring. That's also when her attitude towards me soured. The next morning, my phone showed it was already 10 a.m. I shot out of bed, scrambling to get dressed. I saw Jessica eating steamed buns in the living room. Why did you turn off my alarm? Stop freaking out first thing in the morning. I just wanted you to sleep in. No good deed goes unpunished. Jessica, I have a job. The pathetic amount you earn isn't even enough to buy me a handbag. She rolled her eyes, returning to her phone, scrolling through photos of male models, liking them frantically. I didn't want to argue. I reached for a bun, but saw none were left for me. The porridge was half-eaten, empty eggshells on the table. Forget it. I arrived late at the office and got chewed out for an hour. Calming down, I remembered her demand for a divorce last night. Honestly, I couldn't stand living like this anymore either. The real world wasn't like school. Out here, family background, connections, and money mattered most. We were both from ordinary families. Just surviving in this city was an achievement. Ever since she decided to lose weight, she'd quit her job. All household expenses fell on my shoulders. I hadn't bought new clothes in months, yet she spent my money lavishly, buying $1,000 bags without blinking. The plan was for her to focus on losing weight and preparing for pregnancy. But months after returning from the camp, she showed no interest in having a child or finding work. Whenever I asked, she'd say wait a little longer. Pushing further would trigger her anger. I'm not your breeding machine, she'd yell, pointing at me. Didn't you promise to support me when we got married? Have you forgotten? I couldn't win against her, so I endured the suffocating life. As I was about to leave work, a sharp pain shot through my lower back. Sweat beaded on my forehead. Instinctively, I called her, but the call went straight to voicemail. A colleague noticed my distress and called an ambulance. On the way to the hospital, I kept trying her number. It felt awkward having my colleague stay, and besides, he couldn't sign consent forms if needed. On a whim, I checked Vince's social media. Sure enough, she was at the gym again. In Vince's photo, Jessica was lifting weights in tight yoga pants that emphasized her curves provocatively, wearing only a small sports bra. Vince's hand rested on her stomach, his thumb brushing the edge of her bra. I'd objected to her revealing outfits before, only to be shut down. The dark ages are over. Stop being so futile. I have freedom of dress. Besides, I have a great body. Others wish they could show off like this. Yes, she used to bundle up in dark, slimming clothes. My colleague glanced at my phone screen. Dude, Alex, not to be rude, but looks like you're wearing a green hat. The mockery in his tone was unmistakable. I wanted to retort, but the pain was too intense. At the hospital, the initial diagnosis was kidney stones, and my case was somewhat serious. My colleague was helpful, but didn't want liability. Use your phone to call someone, I rasped. Predictably, she picked up immediately for his number. Fury simmered inside me. Hello? Who is this? Her voice came through. This is Alex's colleague. He's been admitted to the hospital. Should you come? What happened to him? The doctor says it's kidney stones. He needs surgery. Kidney problems? How did he get kidney problems? The doctor didn't say. You should come quickly. They need family consent. I have to leave soon. I'm busy. I have a yoga class soon. Tell him to figure it out himself. She hung up. My colleague and I stared at each other. If the pain wasn't blinding, I would have wanted the earth to swallow me whole. A nurse came over, urging, has the family arrived? This condition can't wait. My colleague looked at me uncertainly. Can I sign for myself? I asked the nurse. Technically, yes, but who do we contact if there are complications during surgery? I handed the nurse my phone and bank card. Here's my phone and card. Deduct whatever's needed. I'm alone. No one can sign for me. The nurse looked troubled. All right then, come with me. I turned to my colleague. Thanks for everything today. You should get going. I can manage here. Well, okay then. I really do have things to do today. Take care of yourself. He left before I could reply. If my own wife didn't care, could I expect more from a recent colleague? I was grateful he'd brought me here. As the nurse led me through the procedures, she muttered, never seen someone so pitiful, having to sign their own surgery consent. Yes, how did I become so pitiful? This marriage was definitely over. When I woke up, my parents were sitting by my bedside. Alex, you're awake? Seeing them, my nose tingled with emotion. Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? The nurse answered your phone when I called. Said you were hospitalized. Your dad and I rushed over on the high-speed train. Mom fussed. Honestly, son, undergoing surgery all alone. Where's Jessica? Why isn't she here? She's on a business trip, I lied. It wasn't about protecting her. It was about a man's pride. No one wants to admit they've been cheated on, especially not to their worried parents. My dad tucked me in. Kidney stones are painful, son. I had them once. You've suffered. Rest well. Your colleague said they helped you take leave. Leave? What leave? Mom interjected hotly. He should just quit. It's not like we need his paltry salary anyway. Making our precious son sick with kidney stones. I was bewildered. Did they win the lottery? Mom excitedly grabbed my hand. Our old land back home was acquired by the government. The compensation is over 20 million yuan. Was I dreaming? Such a massive windfall. When you're better, Mom will buy you a huge apartment here. No, a villa. Even if you don't work, you won't be able to spend it all in your lifetime. I was calling you to tell you this, but couldn't get through, then found out you were in the hospital. This was truly incredible news. Truthfully, a part of me still felt reluctant to let go of Jessica. So many years together, but I deeply missed the chubby, sweet girl she used to be. I stayed in the hospital for a week. Jessica never visited once. Her and Vince's social media, however, was frequently updated. That's how I learned they'd gone on vacation together. Blue skies, white clouds. So good having you by my side, read one caption, accompanied by a photo of their clasped hands. Someone commented below, Alex, your recent workouts are paying off. Forearms looking strong. Only I knew it wasn't my hand. After being discharged, I saw my parents off at the train station. Once the money arrives, put it in the bank and don't touch it for. Now, I advised, it's a huge sum. We need to think carefully about how to use it. As their only son, they trusted me implicitly. Returning to the apartment, I found chaos. It looked like it had been ransacked. Leftover takeout boxes on the table emitted a sour stench. Spilled. Soda had dried on the living room carpet, trapping the bodies of tiny insects. The toilet bowl was stained yellow. I'd only been gone a week. I couldn't stand being in this mess for another minute. Despite the dull ache in my back, I started cleaning. When I got to the bathroom, I found a used pregnancy test in the trash bin. 2 bright red lines mocked me, confirming my idiocy. Green hat firmly planted. Jessica was pregnant, and the child wasn't mine. We hadn't been intimate in months. The few times we had, it felt like a favor she granted when she was in a good mood. I did all the work, only for her to scoff afterwards. That's it. Any attempt to discuss it was shut down. Fine, fine, go sleep in the spare room. Your snoring keeps me awake. Eventually, I lost interest too, becoming unresponsive. I kicked the trash can over. Damn it, I cursed aloud. This was the first time I'd lost my temper with Jessica. She wouldn't answer her phone? Fine. I sent her a voice message. You better get your ass back here right now. Or don't blame me for what happens to those precious bags in your room. Looking at the half-cleaned apartment, I wanted to smash everything. Her reply came quickly via voice message. Alex, if you dare touch my bags, I'll divorce you. Exactly what I wanted. I sat on the sofa, trying to calm myself. I had begged her countless times to have a child with me, and she'd always refused. Now she was having a baby with another man. Jessica returned surprisingly quickly. Less than an hour later, I heard the click-clack of high heels approaching. Yet, I had waited a week for her in the hospital, and she never came. Clearly, her bags were more important than me. She seemed frantic, fumbling the door code several times. Alex, open the door. You bastard. I sat motionless, listening to her rage outside until she finally got the door open. She stormed towards me, hand raised to slap me. I caught her wrist firmly. She stumbled, and I pointed to the pregnancy test on the sofa. Don't you think you owe me an explanation? She glanced at the test and sneered. Alex, I never knew you resorted to digging through trash. I tightened my grip. Answer me. Whose is it? Jessica yanked her arm free. Definitely not yours. You have kidney problems. You probably can't even have kids. And you blame me for not wanting a child before. I carried that blame for years. Now, I switch partners and get pregnant instantly. Alex, you're just impotent. It took all my willpower not to hit her. Why don't you Google the relationship between kidney stones and fertility? Well, you're still useless. Kidney problems definitely affect that area. I don't want to be stuck in a sexless marriage at my age. I took a deep breath. Fine. Since that's the case, let's part amicably. Let's get divorced. Alex, if anyone's initiating the divorce, it's me. I'm dumping you, she shrieked. Being with you all these years was a favor to you. I almost laughed. Some favor. Then, Jessica held out her hand, demanding money. I've been with you since I was 18. You need to compensate me for my wasted youth. Your youth was precious, but mine wasn't. Alex, are you even a man? How can a man's youth compare to a beautiful woman's like mine? If I wanted, I could have any man I choose out there. These 10+ years with you were a complete waste. I didn't want to argue anymore. The exertion after surgery made me feel faint, cold sweat prickling my skin. Fine. How much do you want? I know you have $300,000 in your bank account, and half of this apartment. This apartment was bought outright by my parents. You can have the $300,000, nothing more. Take it or leave it. Jessica considered it, then agreed. Fine. $300,000. We'll get the divorce certificate tomorrow. I don't want to see you ever again. Likewise, the divorce process with Jessica went smoothly. Walking out of the registry office, I saw Vince leaning against a BMW X1, waiting for her. Alex, you'll wish me well, right? Jessica called out smugly. No. I'll be happy even without your blessing. And get your illness treated. Eunuchs are rare these days. I never imagined such vicious words could come from Jessica's mouth. If not for my remaining rationality, if not for her being pregnant, I would have slapped her hard across the face. My hand instinctively twitched upwards. Vince immediately darted forward. What? Thinking of hitting a woman in broad daylight. I don't make a habit of hitting women, but that doesn't mean I won't hit a man. With that, I threw a punch straight at Vince's face. I'd wanted to do that for a long time. Despite his muscles, he was no match for me in a real fight. I'd been a Taekwondo black belt since middle school. Vince tried to retaliate, but a swift leg sweep sent him sprawling. Damn, I was rusty. Before he could get up, I planted my foot on his chest. Since you decided to be the other man, don't flaunt it in my face. Next time you see me, you better walk the other way. Jessica rushed to Vince's side, trying to help him up. Alex, don't go too far. When you two were screwing behind my back, getting pregnant with his bastard child, did you ever think you were going too far? A crowd had gathered. Murmurs spread. So she's a cheating whore. And so brazen about it. Yeah, in ancient times, they'd drown her in a pig cage for this. Unable to bear the ridicule, Jessica and Vince scrambled up and scurried away. Good riddance. I never wanted to see those adulterers again. The walk home from the registry office was short, but it felt incredibly long. It was afternoon, and school was letting out. A group of uniformed students passed me, including a chubby girl with her hair in a bun. For a fleeting moment, I saw the Jessica of our school days, but she was gone, never to return. The girl I knew, innocent, kind, who couldn't bear to see me suffer, was replaced by this cruel, venomous woman. People change so quickly. Even the person you shared your bed with can become a complete stranger. The next day, I resigned from my job. I treated the colleague who took me to the hospital to a nice meal and bought him the most expensive carton of cigarettes. I deleted all contact information for Vince and Jessica. Gathering the shattered pieces of my heart, I boarded the high-speed train back to my hometown. I told my parents the truth, omitting only the details of Jessica's affair and pregnancy. As a man, that was deeply humiliating. Worse than wearing the green hat is everyone knowing you're wearing it. Even the unexpected 20 million windfall couldn't lift my spirits. I bought my parents 2 apartments in the best complex in our hometown, one for them, one to rent out. 20 million sounds like a lot, but it wouldn't last forever. Having savings would give my aging parents peace of mind. I also bought them a small car for convenience. The rest I put into fixed-term deposits, earning interest for emergencies. As for me, I chose to travel abroad, to see the world, and hopefully, heal my heart. Despite everything, letting go of a relationship spanning over a decade wasn't easy. I walked through Bryce Canyon, marveling at the world's diversity, rode camels in the Mojave Desert, gambled with foreigners in Las Vegas, skied under the northern lights in Norway, photographed lions and elephants in Africa. Just as I was planning my trip to Paris, I got a call from my mom. "Alex, you need to come back quickly. Jessica's here, heavily pregnant, and refusing to leave our house." "Okay, Mom, stay calm. I'll book a flight right now." After over 30 grueling hours of travel, I finally reached home. The moment I walked in, I saw Jessica lounging on the sofa, cracking sunflower seeds, spitting the shells all over the new carpet I'd bought. Piles of delivery boxes cluttered the entryway. If my mom hadn't told me it was Jessica, I wouldn't have recognized her. She had regained all the weight, maybe more, looking easily over 220 pounds again. Her belly was enormous. She looked ready to give birth any day. "Alex, you're finally back." Barefoot, she waddled heavily towards me and threw herself into my arms. I tried to push her away, but she clung tightly. My parents emerged from their bedroom. "Alex, you're back," Dad said, looking troubled. I understood. Jessica was pregnant. They couldn't exactly throw her out. "Jessica, we're divorced. What are you doing here?" "Alex, how can you just end over 10 years of history like this?" she whined, trying to sound fragile in my arms, her affected tone sending shivers down my spine. "Where's Vince? Does he know you're here?" "Don't mention that ungrateful bastard. After we got divorced, I found out he was messing around with other women. All his gym clients." "Huh, predictable. Alex, I still love you. Can we get back together, please?" I pushed her away firmly, my voice cold. "Take a good hard look at yourself. Are you worthy of me?" The words clearly stung Jessica, but they were her words, thrown back at her. "Fair game, right?" "Alex, son, don't talk like that," my dad interjected, wanting a peaceful resolution. "Jessica is still a young woman. You shouldn't be so ungentlemanly." He didn't know the full story. "Jessica, I'll say it one last time. We are finished. I expect you to leave immediately and stop harassing me." Jessica dropped the pitiful act instantly. She straightened up, belly prominent, and stalked back to the sofa. "Alex, I know about the land buyout. My mom told me. Since we weren't divorced when the land was acquired, I'm entitled to half the compensation." I was beyond speechless. I'd actually thought for a second she might have genuinely realized her mistake. My mom piped up, agitated. "Jessica, that money belongs to our family. After what you did to my son, we should be asking you for compensation." So Mom knew. "What do you mean your money?" "Any money Alex received during the marriage, half of it is mine. I'm not asking for much, just 10 million. And this apartment is nice too, good view. Perfect for me to stay in while I wait to give birth. You should move out as soon as possible." Not wanting to engage further, I stopped my mom from arguing. That land was registered under my father's name. The government compensation was paid directly to my father. This apartment is also registered under my parents' names. I have no cash or real estate under my name. So, if you think you're getting any demolition money from me, keep dreaming." Jessica looked utterly incredulous. She'd clearly assumed the apartment, at least, would be hers. If she couldn't get the cash, she could squat here. She'd even bought home goods to decorate. Now, her plan was dust. Ever since I saw her true colors, I had protected myself, anticipating she might pull something like this. So you think you can just dismiss me with a mere 300,000? She demanded. That was what we agreed upon during the divorce. You're welcome to return the 300,000 if you prefer. Alex, after more than 10 years together, are you really going to be this heartless? When you were cheating with your fitness coach, did you think about our 10 years together? With that, Jessica dropped to her knees in front of me, clutching my pants leg, tears streaming down her face. For a moment, seeing her like this, I almost saw the old Jessica, the chubby, cute girl. But her actions screamed otherwise. She had changed, becoming bitter, greedy. Alex, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Vince not only cheated, he spent my money taking other women to hotels. He hit me. Even when I was pregnant, he hit me, kicked my stomach. I kept gaining weight, lost my figure completely. He called me a pig every day. Honey, I know you're the only one in the world who's truly good to me. I genuinely know I was wrong. Looking at her pathetic state, I knew with certainty there was no going back. Jessica, let's part ways with dignity. Don't make me lose all respect for you. She clung to my leg, refusing to let go. Honey, let's remarry. I just made a mistake any woman might make. Can't you forgive me for this one small thing? Small thing? She thought adultery and betrayal were small things? No. Stop clinging to me. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police. Go ahead. Call them. I'm pregnant. The police can't do anything to me. The police might not, but let's see if Vince will. Jessica immediately released my leg, her voice pleading, don't call him. Please. I'll leave, okay? Alex, how can you be so cruel? The victim blaming again. Not wanting to waste another breath, I pulled out my phone and started dialing. Okay, I'm going. Watching her retreating back felt strangely familiar, like déjà vu. But I knew, profoundly, she wasn't the girl I once loved, and I wasn't the man I used to be. Life gradually returned to normal. After wandering abroad for over 8 months, it was time to figure out my future. Although we were financially secure by most standards, my parents, having known hardship, weren't prone to reckless spending. My mom, however, was eager to set me up on blind dates. I went on a few, forced, but none led anywhere. It felt like I'd lost the ability to love, wary of trusting anyone, skeptical that affection could last. People change. Until I met her. Sophie Hahn, our high school classmate, Jessica's former deskmate. At that reunion, which Jessica didn't attend, I later heard she'd had a stillbirth around 40 weeks and was recovering. I barely recognized Sophie. Quiet and unnoticed in high school, she was now a renowned lawyer, intelligent, graceful, beautifully composed, radiating mature charm. I felt a spark. At the end of the night, Sophie had a bit too much to drink and stumbled into my arms. Our classmates teased, urging me to take her home. I couldn't refuse and helped her into my car. As I fastened my seatbelt, Sophie suddenly kissed me. The strong scent of perfume mixed with alcohol was intoxicating. I was momentarily stunned, neither refusing nor responding. Abruptly, Sophie pulled back, sitting upright in the passenger seat. You probably don't know this, she said quietly, but I've liked you for 10 years. I was surprised. I honestly had no idea. The lollipops in your desk? I put them there. I thought you knew. That was you. I always thought it was Jessica. Later, I saw you two together. All I could do was wish you well silently. But all these years, I haven't met anyone else who made my heart flutter. So, I prompted. So, you have to take responsibility for me, she declared boldly. I was flustered. Since Jessica, few women had been so direct. How do you want me to take responsibility? Before I could finish, she kissed me again. This time, I didn't hesitate. I responded eagerly. Just as things heated up, she stopped again. I studied her face. By the way, she said slyly, Jessica mentioned you have kidney problems, that you're not good in bed. Huh. I scoffed. Why don't you test that theory yourself? Before she could reply, my hand cupped the back of her neck, pulling her into a deep, demanding kiss. Things with Sophie moved quickly. Within a week, we met each other's parents. Everyone was thrilled. We weren't young anymore, and Sophie's parents had been desperate for her to get married. They were overjoyed when she brought me home. I was upfront about my previous marriage, though I omitted the child part. They didn't mind at all, saying seeing Sophie married was their greatest wish. 2 months later, we were engaged. 3 months later, we had the wedding banquet. For months after that, Sophie found out she was 2 months pregnant. Taking Sophie for a prenatal checkup, we ran into Jessica at the hospital. She was there for a follow-up. Seeing me supporting Sophie, Jessica lunged, trying to grab Sophie's hair. I blocked her instantly, pulling Sophie safely behind me. No one touches my woman in front of me. What the hell are you doing? I snapped. Why are you two in the maternity ward? Is this little bitch pregnant? Whether she is or not is none of your business. Sophie, you don't know, do you? He has kidney problems. He's impotent. Sophie stepped out from behind me. Whether he is or isn't, I certainly don't need you to tell me. Seeing her attempt at sabotage fail, Jessica grabbed my sleeve. Honey, is it because she's thinner than me? I can lose weight again. She can't be pregnant with your child. It must be another man's bastard. Jessica, that's enough. Stop embarrassing yourself in public. Do you think everyone is like you, cheating during marriage and having a baby with your lover? Then how could she be pregnant? You clearly have kidney problems. How? Why don't you Google whether kidney stones have any direct impact on the reproductive system? Jessica looked thunderstruck, then collapsed onto the hospital floor, wailing hysterically. No, it can't be. You have kidney disease. You're a eunuch. Her twisted logic almost made me laugh. Sophie knelt beside Jessica and whispered something in her ear. Jessica's crying intensified into gut-wrenching sobs. Then, Sophie stood up, a triumphant look on her face, and took my hand. Honey, let's go. Confused, I followed her out of the hospital. Once outside, I couldn't help asking, what did you say to her? Why did she break down like that? I told her you're amazing in bed. 7 times a night. I almost choked on the water I'd just sipped. Sophie grinned, playfully wiping my mouth with a tissue. My man, no one gets to bully him. My heart swelled. That feeling again. I reached out, gently touching Sophie's belly. Happiness, tangible in this moment. I had found my true happiness. End.